overview of what's going on from a state level, because it's very, very important, and it drives everything going on a local level. 50th. And why is that? And what is going on? And the problem and where it all comes from, the source of the Nile is Bridgeport. And you really have to understand Bridgeport before you have to understand that. You understand everything. All right. If you go and you look at the Council of Governments in our state, here, I'll punch it to Bridgeport. Okay. And why? You got to remember, Bridgeport was a queen in its day, starting in the 1850s or even earlier in the Industrial Revolution. Dozens of mills, dozens of factories, a lot of prosperity, the largest deep water harbor outside of New York City, going up the East Coast in Fairfield County. P.T. Barnum was the mayor in the 1870s. It was very, very prosperous. And that continued through the turn of the century, World War I, and it grew through munitions. All the Remington was there. Tons of companies doing munitions and other stuff too. And a lot of that ended with it really starting in the prosperous in the 50s and the 60s, reinvent itself like it should. Even though there's fantastic sections of Bridgeport, you wouldn't even realize it. The state has held on to Bridgeport and has used Bridgeport. Why? Why does it need it so badly? Two reasons. Number one, it delivers 100% Democratic. There's not even one Republican on the entire 20-person city council. To have a 2-to-1 supermajority in Hartford. All right, that means they can override a governor's veto. They can do whatever they want. All right, look, there was Harding, Cesar Battaglia, and more schools and new projects where they announced they were closing 6 schools before they went in and looked at them. And now they're saying maybe we'll take 3 of those schools and we'll put them in Hartford. So now you've got this ravenous beast, the building and construction industry, and it needs more and more and more all the time. And the pressure is on the upstate legislatures and department agencies for the projects. That's why they gave that school project, all right? Mayor Ganim announced it was 6 schools that he was closing. Then it turned into a company, a startup company, with 2 people, has a contract to build all of them. Then they made it 7 schools. Then they made it 37 schools with the entire POCD to a company for the construction. So now they're guaranteeing all the construction. In addition, it makes a lot more money to do new construction than to maintain the existing ones. So they don't maintain the existing buildings. They don't make them smart buildings. They don't make them modern HVAC. They let them go so they can build new ones. Are you freaking kidding me? They're going to close the school? He announces that? There's nothing wrong with that school. And now we repaired. This is criminality right before your eyes. They need modern HVAC and a modern energy solution. They got window units. They probably burn oil. I'm going to talk to. I wonder if I can talk to a mom without being a creepy dude. Sorry. Entities that control the entire process for 3 million people. All right. And it starts here in the governor in the executive office. All right. You can't pass the buck. All right. So you got Ganim. Then within that office, you have the elections division of the Secretary of State. All right. I ran for office, the 31st District Senate earlier this year as a non-affiliated candidate just to get the insider's look. And I saw how it is. They control it with an iron fist, the Democrats and the Republicans. Neither one is open to new candidates, open to new people. They have their people that they put in place. They kept the salaries artificially low. They only pay them $40,000 for elected reps, which leaves them open to needing money. I have to work a side hustle. I have to collect money. I have to do stuff. It leaves them vulnerable and dependent on the party instead of being full-time public servants. Okay, so here's the first problem. The elections office needs to be independent. Second is here. These offices, Department of Administrative Services, where all the contracts in the schools go. OPM, Policy and Management, where all the schools and the contracts go. All this is underneath the domain of the Secretary of State, who is elected, and the governor. All this could be reformed and fixed for transparency. Department of Transportation. It's the granddaddy of them all. Same thing. Can't control it, can't know what's going on. Then over here in the legislative office, the Senate Majority Leader, the Senate Minority Leader, the House Majority Leader, the House Minority Leader, the Judicial Department, Attorney General Tong, the head of the GOP, the head of the Democrats. All right. Very, very important. All right. They don't let anybody vote their own way or get out of line. If you do, they'll primary you, meaning in the primaries before the general election, they'll put in their own person there. If you don't toe the line. So what does Fairfield do? First of all, they can look at what the state is doing with the House of Cards and say, we can't do that. That doesn't work for us. Then you can look in the local area and you say, look at what you've done. You've put in 40 buildings just in our area. So now up to like 50. You're passing laws to allow you to build in 169 towns without even getting local approval for the project. That you can just build, you can just build, you can just build without even asking. Does that sound right? That's dystopia. And back here, you've put us in last place. We are a laughing stock for the nation. There's no reason we have to be there. And the key, and we'll get into more, is to get rid of housing. All right? It's not housing. Nobody, these buildings and new construction, these are rental apartments where you're being oppressive and you're keeping people down. All right? You're like Mr. Potter in A Wonderful Life. Remember? Everybody lived on the lousy part of town who had substance abuse problems. They lived in Pottersville, where they couldn't own their own home, like George Bailey did at the Savings and Loan, providing homes to them. This is the exact same thing as the movie. All right. They come in with rentals. They come in with dark money LLCs where you don't know who the principals are. You don't know the financing. You don't know the insurance. It's a very big deal now. A lot of insurance companies are denying it. So all those things before they come in need to be done. But I'm getting into local politics, which is not really why we're talking about. We're talking about we need to control or talk to these 25 people at the state and say, we are not going to do this. We're not. It's bad for us. You know it's bad for us. And we're going to create homes and create solutions for our local communities.